Sajina, and I am handling social science for you. In 6th standard, you have to study 3 social science textbooks. That means history, geography, and politics. History is our past, geography, the earth, our habitat, and politics, social and political life. Today, I am going to start with the geography lesson. Our first lesson is the earth in the solar system. This chapter is very easy for you because you had already studied in lower classes. So, let's start our class. Do you know, children, how many stars are there in the sky? Don't you know you people are not counting the stars? Okay, children, it's a funny question. We know that we cannot count the stars. When we look at the sky on a bright night, we can see it is filled with a full of tiny diamonds. What is that? Stars. So, at night we can see the stars in the sky. So, we can see the stars at night. Some are bright, some are dim, some twinkle, others do not twinkle. But where do these stars go daytime? We can see the stars only at night. Why we cannot see the stars during daytime? Where do they go? Actually, they are not going anywhere. The stars are there in the sky and they do glow. What do you mean by glow? Shining only like moon. Not bright light is there like sun, only shining. They are glowing only. But we cannot see the stars during the daytime because of the bright light of the sun. So we cannot see the stars during the daytime because of the bright light of the sun. For example, the glow of candle light. It's very easy to see the glow of candle in night in the dark than in the daytime. You can easily see the candle light in the night, in the dark time. But it's too difficult to see the light in the daytime. Similarly, we cannot see the stars during the daytime than in the night. Do you know these stars are far bigger than the earth on which we live? So, the stars are very big and they are made up of gases. They have their own heat and light. So, what are the features of stars? Stars are very big and hot. And they are made up of gases. And also they have their own heat and light. So, what are the features of stars? They are very big and hot. They are made up of gases and they have their own heat and light which they emit in large numbers. So, look at this sentence, children. Here it is very big and hot. But when we look at the sky, we can see only very small star. Do you know why? And also hot also there. But we are not getting the heatness from the stars. Do you know why? Why these stars appear so small to us? Because these stars are very, very far from the earth. That is why these stars appear very small to us. Why the stars are very small to us? Because they are very, very far from the earth. For example, aeroplane. When we look at an aeroplane from a great height, it will look very smaller to you. stars are very, very far from the earth? And the third question that I am going to discuss. Third question is why some stars are dim and some other stars are bright? Because different stars are at different distance from the earth. What is the answer? Different stars are at different distance from the earth. The closer star will appear bright and the longer star will appear dim. So why some stars are bright and some stars are dim? Because different stars are at different distance from the earth. Okay. When you watch the night sky, you may notice various patterns formed by different groups of stars. These are called constellations. So what are constellations? Various patterns formed by different groups of stars are called constellations. For example, Ursa Major constellation or Big Bear. That means Ursa Major constellation is look like a big bear. Some patterns are there in the sky. When we look at the sky, we may see some patterns in the sky. For example, Ursa Major constellation. Or another thing is Big Bear. So one of the example is Ursa Major constellation or Big Bear, and the second example is Sapta Rishi. Sapta means 7 and Rishi means sages. So Sapta Rishi means a group of 7 stars. Sapta means 7, Rishi means sages. These are the two examples of constellations. Ursa Major constellation or Big Bear and Sapta Rishi. So what are constellations? Various patterns formed by different groups of stars are called constellations. Now we have many facilities are there for finding the directions. But in ancient time, there is no facilities are there. So they are looking at the sky at night and they are finding the directions with the help of North Star. Now you may think how they will find the North Star, because many stars are there in the sky. How they will find? With the help of this Saptarishi constellation, they are finding the North Star. You have one picture is there in your textbook, page number 2, that you can check. This is the picture, a group of 7 stars, that means Saptarishi. Then this is the pole star or North Star. With the help of this Saptarishi constellation, we can check the pole star or North Star. So with the help of pole star or North Star, the ancient people check the directions. Along with these stars, we may also see moon on most of the days. Moon is at different times, at different positions and at different shapes we can see. Do you know the shapes of moon? Do you know the names of shapes of moon? Do you remember? They are full moon, half moon and new moon. Which are the shapes of moon? Full moon, half moon and a new moon. Here we are discussing only about full moon and a new moon. Full moon night or Purnima. There are two names are there. Full moon night or Purnima we can see once in about a month's time. Full moon we can see only once in about a that is new moon or Amavasya. So in the sky we can see the sun, the moon and many other celestial bodies. So what are celestial bodies? In the sky we can see the sun, the moon and many other objects. These are called celestial bodies. So what are celestial bodies? The sun, the moon and many other objects shining in the night sky are called celestial bodies. Some celestial bodies have their own heat and light. For example, stars that we already discussed. Some other celestial bodies do not have their own heat and light. For example, planets, they are getting the light from the stars. So what are planets? Planets are celestial bodies which do not have their own heat and light, and they are getting the light from the stars. For example, our planet Earth, where we are getting the light and heat from the sun. So sun is also a star. What are planets? Planets are celestial bodies which do not have their own heat and light. Planets are celestial bodies which do not have their own heat and light, and they are getting the light from the stars. For example, sun. The planet comes from the Greek word planetine, which means wondrous. The planet comes from the Greek word planetine, which means wondrous. So what are planets? Planets are celestial bodies which do not have their own heat and light, and they are getting the light from the stars. For example, sun. Now let's check what is meant by solar system. What is solar system? The sun, 8 planets, satellites and many other celestial bodies like asteroids and meteoroids form the solar system. So what do you mean by solar system? The sun, 8 planets, satellites and asteroids and meteoroids form the solar system. Solar system is the sun, 8 planets, satellites and many other celestial bodies like asteroids and meteoroids form the solar system. And the sun is the head of the solar family. That we will discuss in our next class. Before winding the class, I will revise the topics once again. What are celestial bodies? The sun, the moon and many other objects shining in the night sky are called celestial bodies. Some celestial bodies have their own heat and light. For example, stars. Stars are very big and hot. They are made up of gases and they have their own heat and light. And some other celestial bodies do not have their own heat and light. For example, planets. Planets are celestial bodies which do not have their own heat and light, and the planet comes from the Greek word planetine, which means one. What do you mean by solar system? The sun, 8 planets, satellites, and asteroids and meteoroids form the solar system, and the sun is the center of the solar